Hey, this is Joe from SoFlight, and in this video, we are going to export WooCommerce Customers to a custom CSV using WP All Export. So we'll scroll down here to All Export and then select New Export. And from the pull down, we're going to select WooCommerce Customers. And we have 5,754 customers to export. If we want to, we have some filtering options here. So for example, we could export everybody who registered before or after a certain date or something like that. In this case, I'm just going to export all of them, and we will go ahead and customize our export file. If we were migrating these users to a different WordPress install, we could just click Migrate Customers. If you check the description below, we have a video for that specifically. So in this case, we're just going to customize the export file because that's what we're going for. So this is where we design our export file with drag and drop. For example, we can move the user email over here, get rid of the ID, whatever we want to do. And then we can preview it. And that's what our CSV export is going to look like. So go ahead and dismiss that. It says here, there's a warning without the ID being exported. We're not going to be able to re-import this data back to this site using WPL import. We don't care about that. Now, over here on the right, we have our available data, all of our customer data that we can drag and drop into our export file. So we'll start here with standard. The username, user email, definitely want to get the first name and last name in there. I'd like to see when they registered. And that's all I really need from here. Next, we have address information, our billing info, and our shipping info. So I'd like to get, I don't need their billing first name and last name because we already have that over here. Billing address, that would be useful. So I'm going to grab these and our city, postcode, country, state. Looks good. And the billing phone number. Okay. I don't care about the shipping stuff. So I'm just going to leave this shipping information here and I'm just going to go with the billing information. Right, that looks good. Now here we have a bunch of custom fields. These are all the custom fields added by all the various plugins I have in my site. I don't need to export any of these. This is where we put in the other column. This is where we put just kind of all the other random miscellaneous things related to WooCommerce and WordPress that WPL Expert kind of knows about. I don't need any of these, so we'll go ahead and leave that. And then ACF. We have full support for advanced custom fields with WPL export. So if you have any ACF data for your users or really any custom post type, that'll just show up here automatically. We're not using any, so I'm not going to export any of that. So we're just going to go with this data here. So let's preview it again and see what it looks like. All right, looks pretty good. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of clean it up, right? I don't really need the login, just the email is fine. So we'll kind of drag the login out of here. Get rid of him. Now user email, we can change this to email, just like that. And now this column is going to be the email column. And it's that easy to kind of change stuff, right? So we can click any one of these and then we can edit that export field. We can preview it, see how it looks. What I'm going to start doing is cleaning these up one by one. 2 separate columns for first name and last name. I don't really want that. I'm going to move email over here. And I'm actually going to add a new field for the name that combines first name and last name. We're going to go down here and click Add Field. Then we're going to make a combined field with the first name and the last name together. So we'll select Custom Export Field. Down to Address. We'll drag in the billing name, billing first name, and billing last name. And I added a space in between these two. Column name here is just going to be name. All right, so let's preview that and see how it looks. All right, so we have our name over here and it is all combined, right? First name and then last name. So that is perfect. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now I'm going to get rid of these. We'll bring name over here to the front. So I have name, email address. Now let's check out user registered. All right, so we can just get rid of user there. So now it's just called registered. And I kind of want to change the date format, right? I don't need the time and everything. So what we can do is this is using the natural language PHP date. We have some other options here. We can use a Unix timestamp. I'm going to keep this one, and that's the format right there. And I want to have it in day, month, year, just like that. So let's preview that, see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So let's add some dashes in there, and then we'll call it done. So we'll just do one of these like that, and we'll save it. All right. Now I want to do the same thing for the billing information, like the address that I did for the name, right? I don't need 14 columns here for their billing address. So I'm going to add another field. I'm going to custom export field, and I'm just going to drag in all the information here. So we have billing address 1, billing address 2, just in case we have it. Actually, I don't think any of my data has a billing address 2, and if it does, I can skip it. We'll add a comma and a space, city, comma, space, and state. Oops. There we go. State, comma, space, and postcode. We're going to call this address. We'll call it billing address, just so we know what we're talking about. And we'll just save it. I'm going to get rid of all these guys. Don't need them. Billing phone. And we'll preview it. All right. So this file looks nice and tight. This is exactly what I wanted, right? And we're pulling in data from all over WooCommerce and WordPress, renaming all the columns and getting it to look exactly how we want it to look. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and dismiss that. Let's check out our advanced options. We can change the separator here in our CSV. We can choose to skip the header row, but I'm okay with keeping the header row in there. Down here in export type, we can figure out we can determine what kind of spreadsheet we want this to be. We can have it be a CSV file, which is commonly separated, a values file, which is opened by any text editor. It's super common. You can open it in any spreadsheet file or any spreadsheet software or anything like that. We can choose an Excel file, either XLS or XLSX. In this case, we'll just stick with CSV. Over here, if we wanted to, we could have this be exported as an XML feed, just to see how that looks. We'll go ahead and preview this. Really simple XML feed right there. If we needed it to be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more customized, we can customize the XML file here in our XML editor. But in this case, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to go back up here to export type, keep it on spreadsheet, leave it on CSV, close this guy out, and then continue. All right, so the export's ready to run. We have some scheduling options here. If we wanted to have this import run on the schedule and maybe, for example, every Monday, it could email us a report, upload this to Dropbox, et cetera, et cetera. In this case, I'm just going to do a one-off export. If you check the description below, we have a link to some videos on scheduling. All these advanced options, we're just going to go with the defaults here, and then we will confirm and run the export. So this is going to take a few minutes to run. We will let it go and come back when it's finished. All right, so that didn't take too long. So we have some options here to download our file. We can download our CSV. If we were migrating these users to a different site, we could click here and download the bundle and then import that back into our WordPress site using WP import. We have some scheduling options. If we wanted to integrate this scheduled export with some external apps like email or Dropbox, we can click here. And if we wanted to edit these customers in Excel and then re-import them back into the site with the changes, we could export, edit, and import them. And then down here, we have a secure URL we can generate. So this URL is always going to provide the export file from this export, even if we rerun it again. And yeah, we can remove that. And for us, we're just going to download the CSV and check it out. So let's open it up and have a peek. All right. So we have all of our users here with all of the fields that we set up. We have our first name and last name. We have the billing address field that we created by combining it a couple different fields. Then we have our custom date field here and our email. So that is how you export customers to a custom CSV using WP Export. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.